So anyhow, I wanted to come up here and talk for a little bit. Okay, so that's what I figured I'd do. I'd come up here and talk for a little bit. And I think what I want to talk about first off, though, is pretty simple. When it comes to today's society, I know the things are just so messed up, really. And I know there's been people questioning. Oh, I've been talking with Steve Hoke again. They thought that me and Steve Hoke were arch enemies. No, we're not arch enemies, okay? We had our differences over the year, like I think it's over the years, like most people do. But I never disliked Steve. Okay. Personally, I know Steve means well. I mean, I've never asked for a penny, and I know Steve does ask. Okay, of course, try to do a live stream, the phone's got to go off. You know how that goes. So anyhow, I when it comes to Steve Hoka, I've always known that Steve Hoka meant well. But he's him and I'm me, and I won't ask for money for what I do because I'm not up here to profit off of what I see going on. That's one of the biggest problems we have in today's society is people think they have to make money off of anything and everything they do, and nobody's willing to do anything from their heart because it's what's right. Just like all the corruption that's going on in the world. Why does it take somebody to have to make money in order to speak out about what's going on? Then you wonder why people wouldn't rise up together, huh, when you're all divided. But if you had to have the tool, the tool money, to fight the people that have done this to us, you've already lost. Because don't you know they own and control and make that tool? It's like I've heard some stuff said about success, okay? For a man to be successful and to have a woman in his life, he's got to be successful. Well, that's all based on the tool. That's all based on materialistic items. That's right. So what they would be really saying is to get a woman in your life, you must first be a bank, an ATM machine. Okay? So you not only got to impress her, you got to be an ATM machine. Okay? In a society, and for people who want to go back to old times and say, well, yeah, but the man's the protector and fighter because the woman, blah, blah, blah. And back in the caveman days, and I always say, the caveman days have been gone for years and years and years and years. And we can keep going with that, right? And no, in today's society, we got a whole lot of women out earning men. We have as many, if not more, women in the workplace than we do men. So no, I don't buy into that crap at all. Because you're born a male doesn't mean you owe another human being their living based on their gender. And people don't like me for that. Oh well, and in the dating scene, to say you have to be successful is to just same equivalent of saying buy the date. Okay, that's right, financially obligated in order to be with another human being. It's insanity. It's nuts. Won't go there. Just won't go there. Okay, Steve Hoka does speak a lot of truth, and his intentions are well. But with me, I've tried to more or less help TFLers by telling them straight out that you cannot go through life worrying about getting a woman in your life without destroying yourself and also carrying that luggage with you when you meet a woman. So your body language now screams it and you end up scaring her off. The best thing a TFLer can do for themselves is to take the dating arena off their damn mind. To quit, just to totally take it off their mind. And I know it's easier said than done, but that's what you have to do. You've got to remove it from your mind. You've got to find hobbies, things you can do that interest yourself. And you've got to care for yourself. and not care what other people think of you. And that goes a lot further than the dating scene. I see that all over the place. Other people are so worried about what somebody else thinks about them that they're willing to bend over, put on a phony persona and be somebody they're not. And then we got, well, that's taboo. You can't talk about that because that's taboo. Taboo is corruption. When you say something's taboo, that means you're hiding something because that's what taboo is. Someone's ability to hide something they don't want being discussed because there's corruption involved. That's why. They know it's wrong. That's why. They know what's going on is purely wrong, but they're willing to turn their back and a blind eye to it. Well, isn't that what we've all done when it comes to political end? The wars, the phony, bloated shootings, and the stuff that's going on in our society. Now we have this red flag law coming in. It's slowly working its way around the United States based on mental health laws that says that we can now come and take your guns. See, this is where it's going to go for TFLers eventually. They're working their way towards it. You know what? It's just amazing how there's still so many people asleep to what's going on. It just amazes me how wonderful of a job these people have done on destroying our society and brainwashing people. I see we have off the grid in here. But anyhow, yeah, I'm up here. I'm up here again. Yes, unannounced. I just showed up, right? Yeah, that's how I do it sometimes. But it's just amazing how many people are still asleep. Or you get people that claim to be awake that are like on this first tier level of awakeness and not really awake at all. And you got other people that get up to like a level 1 or level 2 and they don't never progress past that. And they just don't progress past it. And these people that still fall for the psyopses and the BS that Alex Jones was kicked off of Twitter and Alex Jones was kicked off of YouTube and Alex Jones and Alex Jones. And they don't understand that the guy was a plant the entire time and this has been planned to happen this way. See, when they take their icon, the puppet, the shield, the CIA operative, Alex Jones, who spilt you truth mixed with propaganda all these years and fed you all kinds of lies, like with our media feeding people propaganda and people falling for it, people believing in the propaganda, the BS that's being fed to them and not looking into anything. And then we're in this society where we got people that this is just another amazing thing that just shows how sick our world is. Because everybody wants to say they don't want to be lied to. At the same time, they want to say there's nothing wrong with lying. And at the same time, they're saying there's nothing wrong with lying. They want to be told the truth. When you tell them the truth, they don't want to hear the truth. So, yes, this is pure insanity, okay? It really is. And it's a hard pill when you're speaking to men who can't get a woman in their life because no man wants to be made to feel they can't get a woman in their life, even though we clearly know this is going on. So the majority of men want to hide behind phony labels, call themselves a man going your own way. Now, I can come aboard with men going their own way if you're actually really going your own way. But the majority of men that claim they're going their own way are out there jumping through all the hoops and playing the games to get a woman in their freaking life and lying to everybody up online. And I hate to say that, but that's really what's going on. That's the reason I agree with Steve Hoka. Because I clearly see through the BS. Okay? But for the TFLers overall, they actually seem to be more legit than MGTOW is. Not that MGTOW or men going their own way wasn't a good idea, because when you look how corrupt our society is and how people treat one another, and all the involvement that can happen between a man and a woman and the court system and the cops, and everything that's going on in the dramas replaced love, because that's no lie. Drama has literally replaced love. That and sex. So, I mean, I guess if you like drama, then jump aboard. You can have all the fighting you want, okay? I don't want it. And for me, it's like this, you get people up here say, well, I can't be a TFLer because I have a wife and I have an ex-wife and I had a child by that ex-wife and I raised that child, so therefore I'm not TFL. Don't mean I didn't live it at one time, because I did. It don't mean TFLers can't get out of being a TFL, because they can. But they first have to listen to sound advice. Okay? And you have to first be willing to be tough-skinned, be yourself, not care what anybody else thinks about you. Just be yourself. Do not change yourself for nobody. If they don't like you for who you are, then show them the door, man. Let it hit them on the ass on the way out. Don't care. Because you don't need to put on an act to be somebody you're not to impress some female. You need to be yourself. I've said it for years that people don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to dating. And they don't. Our society is so mixed up that nobody knows what they're doing, not the man nor the woman, either one. Oh, they all want to claim they do. Of course they're going to claim they do. The majority of them are going to go whatever media told them. The media lies to them on a regular basis. So, you have to be yourself and stop putting on phony personas. Dating, going on a date. When I tell people you go backwards in time, back to the Leave It to Beaver's days, and they say, well, no, because we've advanced and our society's moved forward. I says, no, you don't understand. You need to study your history and look at what people were doing back in them days and compare it to what people are doing now, and maybe you'll get an eye-opener why things are so messed up, huh? That's really what it is. Because a date was designed for two people to meet each other. For two people to get to know one another. And then we have the old scenario that everybody's heard by now. And women are doing this. This is not a lie. This is factual. Women are doing this. The friend zone. Yes, that's really happening. No lie, that's really happening. But see, what did I say? Not no man nor woman in today's society don't know what they're doing. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. Women who put you in a friend zone and use friends as a rejection line are as messed up as the rest of our world. They don't know what they're doing neither. Because the date was about getting to know one another and becoming friends. You wonder what happened to real love? Well, how could you ever find real love if the foundation that builds the love, true love in a relationship is being built on quicksand? Because that's what today's society is. Your foundation's completely destroyed. Everything's built on quicksand. Drama, sex, money, stats, fame. Everything that has nothing to do with a relationship is what's building a relationship. That's why we're looking at the situation we're looking at. And for TFLers, the simple thing is you've got to get tough skin. You've got to be willing just to be yourself. And you got to be willing to take the damn women off your mind. Forget about looking for a damn date. And that's the bottom line. I mean, you may hate me for saying that, but you have to do that. Because the only way you're going to get that stress off your shoulders that's tearing you up is to stop looking. And by stop looking and freeing your mind from that and getting yourself a hobby and things to do to make yourself content, you remove that stress. Then when you go meet a woman somewhere by accident, you could be at a club or whatever. You could be at a mall, you could be at a park, you could be at a shopping center. It doesn't matter. You could be out yard sailing, you could be at a flea market. It just doesn't matter. When you meet a woman and this is not on your mind and you don't care what they think about you, then you will be yourself. And amongst being yourself, she'll be being herself, and guess what? You just accidentally get to know somebody for who they are, and they'll get to know you for who you are, and one day it'll happen for you. But if you're running through life worrying about getting a date in your life, and that's all you worry about, and you keep doing everything that these people are telling you, and you're going to go buy pickup artist industries BS that they're handing you, and you're going to keep your mind focused in that spot, you are not going to get nobody. You're only going to stress yourself out. That's all you're going to do. And it's going to go on and on and on and on and on. So no, I'm not against TFLers because it's quite real. It's happening. You would never have a pickup artist industry if there wasn't this thing as TFL. It's just understanding what the heck you're doing. And as simple as this is take it off your mind. You people think that I've got an ex-wife that I was with for a lot of years, okay, and a child that I raised on my own, and another wife right now because I was all stressed out, worried about finding a date when I met him. No, it's not how it works. This is why I keep trying to tell people that are TFLers, take it off your mind. Get it off your mind. Find something to do. Make yourself happy with what you're doing. Because it's the only way you're going to ever meet anybody, And as far as what's going on in our society, I don't know what to tell you, man. They got people so dumbed down it's pathetic. Okay, they really do. People are so dumbed down in our today's society, and they believe they've been educated, and they've only been educated to what they're allowed to know, and they're not supposed to know. And we have everything that's going on. I mean, from phony school shootings to 9/11, and the list just keeps going on and on and on. Where fraudulent stuff, your media is lying to you every day, and you don't see anybody outraged about the fact that they're being lied to every day. But then maybe that's like I told you earlier. I said, you know how insane it is when everybody says, I don't want to be lied to, you tell me the truth. But they always think it's okay to lie and it's normal to lie and there ain't nothing wrong with lying. Okay? And then they want to be told the truth themselves while they have this mentality. And then when you tell them the truth, they don't want to hear the truth. And they get offended by the truth. This is why I said, it's an insane society, man. You get your people who want to say I'm on the right or I'm on the left, and I'm like, there is no right, there is no left, there's no Democrat, there's no Republican. The same people are controlling both sides. Both sides are answering to the same people that are running us all, the powers to be, whatever you want to call them, okay? So it's complete insanity. And so I don't buy into this spiel, and sometimes I sit back, and I have done a lot in videos as far as the political end goes, because I see how insane everything's become. I see us going nowhere. You still got people thinking they're going to stop the New World Order. You know how nuts that is? How are you going to stop something that's already here? And recently we had, I like to call it Bushwhacker Day, December 1st, 2018 is Bushwhacker Day. Okay? That's the day we deceived the world about how this guy was a hero and this guy was such a great guy when this guy was a parasite. This guy came up and gave you the New World Order speech. And oh, by the way, the New World Order speech that Herbert Walker Bush gave happened on September 11th, but not of 1991, but of 1990. But they wanted to get the extra one in there. So they told you that he gave that speech on 1991. September 11th of 91. No, he gave that speech September 11th for sure, but of 1990, not 91. And that's just like our media. They purposely flip things. They don't tell the truth. So you don't get the truth. And anymore, finding the truth is getting harder and harder to do. Because everybody's busy hiding the truth. It's insanity how come people want to still hide the truth. Hide the truth, hide the truth, hide the truth. Okay? But what does that show you about people not wanting to hear the truth? Okay? And our media, as far as I'm concerned, people working for the media reporting lies to the public and know they're lying to you and helping to destroy our society, as far as I'm concerned, are committing treason against their own people. For the tool. That's really what it comes down to. For the tool. They're going to commit treason against their own country and their own people for money, for greed. The tool. And that is what's controlling everything. And that is the mentality people have. And this is the reason, even though I'm speaking with Steve again, and I do like Steve, and I know that Steve means well, but he has a right, if he's going to ask for donations, to ask for them. That's what he wants to do. You have a right to donate, or you have a right not to donate. And I'm going to leave it at that. Myself, I will never ask for money for anything I've ever done, and that is who I am. Okay? Even in my personal life, I've gone out and I've done things for people just because I have the knowledge to do it. Never asked for a penny. Didn't want a penny. Wasn't doing it because I wanted money. I was doing it because I actually care. And this is one of the things that I have observed in our society that seems to be missing. Big time. Is people's ability to care about other people. They just don't have it anymore. They care about themselves, their immediate surroundings, and that's it. That's it. Don't care about anything else. And if people would start caring again, we wouldn't be in the shape we're in. We're in the shape we're in because people don't care. And they think, well, that just makes them stronger. Because I care, that makes me weak. When the people think that way, are thinking upside down. And they don't even know they're thinking upside down. They're going to tell me because I care about people I don't even know that makes me weak. No, that don't make me weak. The person who cares about people they don't even know is stronger than anybody that has no care. Because when you have no care, you're actually weak yourself. See, it is the other way around. But they like to flip that, try to turn it over on its head, upside down, and say it the other way around. But it's not the other way around. Never has been and never will be. Okay, and this is, but this is one of the biggest problems I see. You wonder why people won't stand up to these criminals? For one, they're scared shitless because the fear porn and everything has been put into them. The social engineering. So for one, people are scared shitless. Okay? For two, they've been lied to so bad that they don't know what's what, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And then we have no care. Absolutely no care. So, unless we get them things back in society, this is why you hear me tell people all the time, do unto one as you want done unto yourself. I say this all the time. Practice doing unto others that you want done unto yourself. But nobody wants to do that, neither do they. No. Recently there's a clown, probably about 4 or 5 days ago, that made a video reply towards me. He's calling himself the end time warrior, and I'm laughing. He's more like the end time coward. He fits into today's society full of cowards and liars and deceivers. Oh yeah, he's right there amongst them, okay? Well, there's no doubt about that. And I was laughing at the stuff that he said. He was doing so hard to slam me down and saying I'm an old man, forgetting the fact that one day he's going to be aging himself. Just totally forgetting about that and thinking, well, no. pointing out stuff in my bedroom and just looking for faults while he's hiding his face. Okay? He comes onto my channel over here and he's reading titles of videos and making assumptions off of a name of a video without ever watching it. Assuming for, when he heard the war on men come out of my mouth in one of my videos, and he's like, well, there ain't no such thing as a war on men. The war's against the women. And it just shows this guy's done no homework. He's done nothing at all. He's just up here running his mouth. Of course, I left a comment under the video, and I haven't acknowledged it until now on this live stream, and I'm not going to acknowledge it because the guy's a dumbass, and I'm not going to have a confrontation with somebody who's sound asleep, don't know the first thing they're talking about. Why would I even want to go there? I mean, what are you going to do? Argue with somebody that knows nothing about what you're doing? That's like an electrician who's been an electrician for 40 years, owns their own company, and they're a master electrician. They're out there wiring homes and commercial buildings, and some peon that's not an electrician, that's never done it in their life, is going to argue with you about the proper way to do your job, that don't know the first thing about your job. Why would you argue with them? Why would you even go there? You wouldn't. You ignore them and walk away because you realize how stupid they are. And that's what I've done with this guy over here. I've pretty much ignored him. I've seen the video, I've watched it, I left a comment, and I walked away from it, I'm not going to do anything with it. The guy's too stupid. There's nothing I can do for him. It's not my fault that dumbing down has done so good. Our society's been dumbed down so bad. That's the only thing, right now, when it comes to the powers to be, I would shake their hand for a job well done when it comes to the dumbing down of our society and people. Because they have successfully done that job right. They got people so ignorant, so blitz, it isn't even funny. But when it comes to Steve Hoka, no, I've told people I do like Steve Hoka. I always have. I know the guy means well. Okay, he's made some mistakes along the way, but come on, he's a human. We all have, including myself. Ain't none of us that hasn't made a mistake along the way. And anybody that's living their life that says, well, I don't make mistakes, you just made your first mistake by making that statement, didn't you? That's publicly known. And I'm sure you got lots more than that. Because we all make mistakes. What's important is to learn from our mistakes so we don't keep repeating them. But in today's society, we see people that don't even learn from their mistakes, do we? They keep doing the same thing over and over and over and can't figure out who. It's sort of like when you look at what's going on with the wars and stuff and everything that's going on. What's been this way since the beginning of the time? And I says, obviously, huh? Obviously, nobody's ever learned. They're repeating history. America is Nazi Germany. We're only doing everything that's already happened. And we keep doing that over and over. So obviously, nobody's ever learned. So when you want to say, we live in 2018, going to be 19, man, and we progressed. No, you haven't. You have technology that's made you more dumb. But you haven't really progressed. What have you progressed about? You're allowing history to replay itself. That's happened over and over already. Nobody learned from it. You're allowing the same entities that done it to us then to do it to us again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And when it comes to our society, they fooled us over and over. It's shame on us for not growing up, not recognizing it. And I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel about that. But of course, nobody's going to stand up to these criminals because for one, they're too scared. For two, they're stuck in the matrix. They got to have their tool. They're afraid they might lose the ability to make their tool. Money. That's right, their tool. So of course they're not going to do anything about it. You're not going to get people to stand up. We're all divided. Nobody cares. I mean, one of the major things we have to be able to do is care. And if we can't care for somebody we don't even know, you're right where they want you. You know, and then when you look at the reality, I mean, you see me fight both sides. I'm fighting the whole damn fight, right? But there's so many people that won't even touch the dating scene topics. All these people are awake speaking out about all this political corruption that's going on in our society, and they will not touch the division of the genders. They will not touch this topic because it's too personal for them. Pretty sad, isn't it? So you're fighting part of a war. That's why I fucking mock and say, you know, I want to put the guy that's fighting the whole fight in the ring with the guy that's fighting part of the fight. And the guy that's fighting part of the fight, well, we're going to tie one arm and one leg up, and he's not going to use them in the fight. He goes, why would you do that? It'd be unfair. Well, he only wants to fight part of the war. He don't want to fight the whole war. And if you're only going to fight half the war, then you can only use half your body. That's why I would do that. Because you cannot overturn corruption by allowing corruption to still exist. You have to fight the whole thing. See, the dating scene topics, the feminist movement, the division of the genders, the breakdown of the family unit is every bit as important as the false flags, the propaganda from the media, the wars that we're in, and stealing and killing and stealing resources and killing, the new laws being pushed by phony, baloney, fake shootings, like the red flag law. See, all of them things are important, but they're just as important as the division of the genders, the division of the races. Divide and conquer, people. There's a reason they spent all this time making division all the way across the board, so that people wouldn't care anymore, so that people would be too busy fighting one another, so that nobody would stand up against the corruption. You know, and that's really where it comes from. But when I look at the division of the genders, and if I come online and I'm looking at MRA, men's right activists, that's a joke. It's been taken over by women. So now women are the very gender that already has all the same rights as men plus more is running a man's rights movement. What has Karen Stroud, you know, girl rights what? What has she accomplished in the 5 to 7 years she's been doing this? You want to know what she's accomplished? Zero. She's lined her pocket full of money, and she's done not a damn thing for the men at all. That's because she's not there to give men back their rights or equal rights. She don't want men having their equal rights. She always wants to be above. You know, that's another thing that I was going to talk about a minute, is people's always wanting to be as from the top to the bottom, even the lowest walks of life. Somebody always wants to be in charge of somebody else. Somebody always wants to think they're better, smarter, above somebody else. It's a sickness. It really is. And when I come down to TFL and I look at true TFLers, and I look at incel, and I look at men going their own way, and now you have another label, MGTOW monk, and they're as fraudulent as fraud gets. I'll guarantee you they're fraudulent, fraudulent, fraudulent. And I'm not going to say there ain't some men out there that are MGTOW monks that are not having sex and not masturbating and not looking at porn. I'm sure we got a handful out of millions that are legit, okay? Men going their own way. I'm sure we have men going their own way. Men that were married and raped by the court system and by the woman. That's right. Maybe some men out here that sees how corrupt the dating scene is and looks how women are treating men and has witnessed it with their own eyes enough that they decided, no, I'm not getting involved. I don't care if I have a woman in my life. Yeah, we have that. And them men are going their own way. And I'm on board with them men. But unfortunately, the majority of what I see from people here online, I agree with Steve. The majority of MGTOWers online are fraudulent. Look how many MGTOWers you got out here saying they're practicing pump and dump. That's not a man going his own way. That's somebody jumping through the hoops to try to get a woman in their life. So there you go. Okay, and that's definitely couldn't be a monk, right? Because he's practicing pump and dump. And I have this thing that I've always had. I'm pretty good at picking out bullshit and spotting liars. Spotting BS. I've been pretty good at that. And that is something, an area I'm really pretty good at. And I can tell you right now, the reason I stand with Steve when he says to me, when he says MGTOW are men that are TFLers, I would have to say the majority, of course, not all, but the majority that are making videos here on YouTube are exactly that. Of course, I'm not going to go across the board and say all, because I know that would not be accurate. But I can accurately say the majority, yeah, the majority would be TFLers in denial. They're afraid of a name to a problem they didn't create. That's what that comes down to. It's to a problem they did not create. You know, at least Steve is now seeing the social engineering aspect of this. If you really want to know where the feminist movement came from, I know people are going to tell you, Aaron Russo told you. Aaron Russo was interviewed on Alex Jones and by Alex Jones, and he told you, and he met Rockefeller and blah, 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 blah. It goes higher than that. It sure does. He told you the low line stuff. He didn't give you the... It goes a lot higher than that. You have to look into the Fabian Society and the Orwellians. And you have to, you know, the first spot I'd tell you to go is look into the Fabians and find out what the Fabians are, who they're about. When you do this, you'll find out where the feminist movement really came from. It's not the first time you've had a feminist movement in history. It's not, okay? This has been done before. Great Rome, a matter of fact. You know, the fall of Great Rome? Do you realize they had the same issues that we got going on right now? Do you realize the men and women were divided there and the women were blah, blah, blah? And you had another feminist movement back then? Oh, I bet you most people don't know that, do they? Well, okay, I can understand some of the stuff Steve says, okay? I'm not responsible for the stuff Steve says. You need to understand that. When Steve talks about TFL within itself, okay, focus on just the TFLers within themselves. Okay, the problem with TFL and social engineering, I'm on board with Steve. I know that Steve means well, but Steve also says some things I don't agree with. But guess what? I'm sure I say things that people don't agree with too. Guess what? I'll bet you say things in your life that people don't agree with. And this is where you have to learn that tough skill, just to learn to agree to disagree. You know what agreeing to disagree means? Learn how to agree to disagree. When somebody's wrong about something but they believe they're not, you can hammer yourself on the head to try to show them different, and you're just going to waste your time, anger them, and anger yourself. You have to let them see it for themselves. And I'm not trying to be an asshole about that, but you really do. They have to see this stuff for themselves. You could try to push some links their way, and if they look at them, take the time to look. But you know, this is the thing: is people, especially in today's society, need to see things for themselves. Because you can try to hammer it through their head, but most of the time that ain't going to work. You're just going to have a confrontation. That's all you're going to have. You know? You better remember this. Hoka's been around. It was me first, though. It's always been me first. I'm the one that gave the name. I'm the one that spoke out about this topic. I'm the one that posted videos before anybody posted videos on this topic. And then there was another person before Hoka who was also aboard, but he was behind the scenes. And that is Dwayne Holloway. There's your real truth. Steve Hoka came along, though, at the beginning of TFL. I was 3 or 4 months into doing it when Steve Hoka made a reply video to me. Okay, and I made a reply video back to him. At the time, YouTube was not owned by Google. You could only do like a 10-minute video. That was it. If you went over 10 minutes, you couldn't put it up. You had to start over or rip out some. Okay. And Steve Hoka and I had this little video reply thing going at each other after he replied to me. And then we got each other's numbers and we started talking on the phone. We got to know each other. And then Steve Hoka came aboard with TFL. And this is how all you people know Steve Hoka from the very beginning. So there's your truth about the very beginning. It's always been me. It's not an accident that I was called the founder of the name, because the truth is it's me that first brought this up. It's me that gave the name to it. It's me that talked about it before anybody else talked about it on the entire internet. This wasn't even heard of when I came aboard with this. So it doesn't matter what other people tell me, because if you wasn't around to know what really took place, what comes out your mouth now wouldn't mean shit. When you say Hoka did it all, you obviously was what, a little child yet? You wasn't around to know what took place? I just told you the real truth. And if you don't like that real truth, there's nothing I can do for you. Because I don't care if you don't like it. Because it doesn't change the truth. See, so I don't care if you don't like it. Okay? So to this Joe guy, no, I don't really care what you say. I just told you the truth, and even Hoka would tell you the same thing I just did. Even Dwayne Holloway, if he was being honest, to tell you the same thing I just told you. And you can deny us all if you want. It don't matter to me. Because where was you? I don't recall you being around. Oh, that's right. You wasn't even here. So how do you have any room to tell anybody anything? You don't. Because when you clearly say Hoka did it all, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. Or you're clearly just trying to be a troublemaker. See, now I'm through with you. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm really not. I'll take care of your problem because I know what you are now. You're what they call a troll. And you know what I do at trolls? Yeah, I'll show you what I do at trolls. Yep, that's what I do at trolls. Yep, you gone. You through trolling. Bye, troll. There's how I handle that. See, this guy was deliberately doing this because he wanted to yank my chain. So I yanked his chain. I just took him on out. He's on out of here. Oh, don't worry, Joe, shut up. He's gone now. Okay? See, unlike Steve, I only go so long, and when I clearly see what they're doing, I clearly remove them. They're no longer here. He deserved to be booted, and he's gone. That's how that works. He asked for it. He got it. Toyota. Okay, that's the way I look at that shit. So, I said it as it is. And my thing now with TFLers is to help them, they have to hear the truth they don't want to hear. Why do you think I said take women off your mind? Stop looking for a date. Stop trying to hook up with a female. Completely stop. Remove them from your mind. Find something to do to make yourself happy. Then, after you can get them completely off your mind and the stress off your own shoulders, take on a new attitude. You don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about you. You're not going to change who you are for anybody. You're going to be yourself. You're not going to put on a fraudulent act. Then when you can accomplish that, then you go back out there and you just live your life. When you meet a female along the way, regardless of where it's at in your life, you're not looking for a female, so don't become all pressured about, I gotta say the right things to impress her. No, you don't. Just be yourself. That's what you do. If you ever want to really meet somebody, that's how you're going to do it. You're sure to hell not going to meet them through all the bullshit that you see coming online. If you want to stay stuck in the TFL zone, you just go ahead and worry about getting that date, okay? You just keep that date on your mind around the clock. You worry about getting that date. And I'll see you in 10 years from now, still alone, still complaining, and still whining. Or you can grow the hell up, get some tough skin. I'm not saying it's fair how men are being treated in today's society whatsoever. But, I think Off the Grid can relate to this. Social engineering, NWO. Complete corruption, divide and conquer. This is why TFL exists to begin with. It was part of the feminist agenda. It was part of the destruction of the family. And so, that's really where it comes from. Now, what are you saying, Off the Grid? I'm not going to be here much longer. Yes, Jim said it correct, You go back in the day, I mean, Steve Hoke has been here since the beginning of TFL, but it was never Steve that started TFL. It wasn't Dwayne that started TFL. It was me that gave the name, me that come up and talked about it first, me that come out and did my videos. Dwayne followed suit and was behind me, but he never showed his face. Then Steve come along, like I told you, with reply videos at me. And we did a few reply videos back and forth. The guy shows the number, started talking. And it was Steve Hoka who got Dwayne to show his face. It wasn't me. It was Steve Hoka that pushed Dwayne, and that's when Dwayne came out and showed his face. And that's the real truth. That's how it went. The people that are well known for TFL is me, Steve Hoka, and Dwayne Holloway. Don't matter where you Google it and where you look, this is what you're going to find. Me, Dwayne, and Steve. Always. I know this person keeps saying they're Steve. It possibly could be Steve. I have no way of confirming this to know that for sure. Because we know we have our troll who likes to be tender, Steve. If it is Steve Hoka, that's fine. Well, I'm not going to argue and say, oh, no, this is Steve, because maybe it's not Steve, right? There's one way they could prove they're Steve if they want the world to hear them. All they got to do is call me real quick and I'll put them on the speakerphone. That's the best way to do that. And I'm not being an ass. It's just the fact that we have this fraudulent fool that likes to go around and pretend they're Steve. And it could very well easily be them and I wouldn't know it. That's all that is, okay? So, Steve has my number. Steve could call me any given time. He knows that. It's not about hiding who we are. It's the facts are the facts. That's why I said I removed that Joe because it needed to be done. But for the TFLers out here, I look at the TFLers as actually the real honest people here on the net right now. They're more honest than MGTOW. They're more honest than MGTOW Monk.
Steve Hoka.
And this would be Steve Hoka. Well, hello, Steve.
Hey, what's up, bro? How are you?
I'm good. See, now they can tell it is actually the real Steve Hoka.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding. Well, you know what? This idiot who is stealing our. I heard Mike the Big Town Monk said the same thing that people are duplicating people's. You're not able to tell anymore who the real people are. So it's really crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's why when I saw this name pop up, I said, okay, it could be the real Steve, it may not be. So I'm glad you called because, see, it just confirms because if it wasn't you, they couldn't have called because they wouldn't have the access to call me.
Yeah. Well. Anyways, yeah, I'm just actually between a job right now, so I just thought I'd give you. I saw you were online live during the day, but I forget you're not working now. So, but
Yeah.
we may be able to do something tonight if you're going to be up late tonight.
Yeah, I'll be up tonight. Today's Friday. I ain't got to get up and take my kid to work tomorrow, so.
That's good. So you're talking more. Are you getting any flack about our interview that we did the other day?
Oh, well, I get a little flack. I had some freaking troll freaking make a video on reply at me. I've been blowing him off. He's calling himself End Time Warrior. Okay.
Yeah.
He was
Well,
giving me slack for talking to you because how dare me talk to Steve Hoka.
Yeah, well, it's like we said, they're TFLers in denial. That's what they are.
Oh, that's really what it comes down to. That's the majority.
They can play what's called plausible deniability. That's when your intentions are one thing, but you can't prove it, so they can always deny it, and say, oh, that wasn't my intention. But, it's like you're only fooling yourself when you do that.
Exactly. That's exactly it. They think they foolish, I'm not gonna, it's like it's like I said here in this live stream. It says, Steve, there are some people that are actually real MGTOWers, but the majority are not. Okay, and I hate to say it, the majority that I see on YouTube are fraudulent. Okay,
Right.
so and it's what can I say? That's just the truth. And if they don't like it, and when people come up and say, and our favorite buddy doing Nor over there, he made another video addressing it, and I just, I will look at the video he made this morning,
the more we address TFL being what it is, the more people in MGTOW get hostile. What does it tell you? They have to feel threatened by it.
Well, I could understand your PUA people at the beginning felt threatened because you're taking money out of their pockets.
Yeah.
Okay, so I could understand them being threatened by it. These people, a lot of it is people fucking too scared and they want to fit in. They want to fit in so bad and they're too scared to freaking admit that there's something that they are that they didn't cause because they didn't bring the problem on themselves, but they're too scared to admit it. They don't want to be called name ostracized. They're scared. And that's really what it comes down to.
Right.
And they want to fit in. That ability to fit in, that's really where it comes from. So there's nothing we can do about that, Steve. We just got to keep going forward. And if they attack, they attack.
Yeah, well, that's like you said. You're exactly right. There's not much you can do about it. But Bill, I hate to cut you short. I'd love to talk longer, but I work for a living. Contrary to what a lot of my trolls don't realize, is I do have a regular job.
Oh, yes, exactly. I'm totally with you on that, Steve. I understand that. Yeah. So you go get back to work.
Tonight. I'll listen to you on your chat while I'm driving to my next job, okay?
Okay, you do that, and I'll be around tonight.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See, that answered that. If that was the real Steve, I'm sure for what people heard that. Yes, sir, that was Mr. Hoka. So it was nice to see it was the real Steve that came in here and not a phony. Okay. But that's why I said that. If it's the real Steve, he has my number. And it was him. So yeah, but that's I know it's a tough pill for me when TFLers ain't gonna like what I'm saying. But the truth is the truth. Even if you don't like what I'm saying, if you want the stress of TFL off your shoulders, you need to understand there's only one way you're going to get that off your shoulders. Because if you go through life every day trying to get a female in your life, trying to get a female in your life, letting not having a female in your life affect you personally, letting the rejection affect you personally, you're going to wind up just like this TFLer here a month or so ago that killed himself. I said it years ago in my TFL videos when I first came out with TFL. The first videos I put up was True Force Loneliness. And I said it then. It'll tear you up from the inside out. It will destroy you. You will destroy yourself. And your body language will scream to the female. So the best thing I can tell you is you have to remove it from your mind. It's not going to be easy to do. Nobody ever said this is going to be easy. Okay? Because it's not. But you have to remove it from your mind. Then once you get it off your mind, find things to do to help keep it off your mind. I'm not saying don't never be alone the rest of your life at all. I'm telling you to remove the stress from yourself for your own health and for your own self. Then I'm telling you not to worry about finding a date so that when you meet a girl, you don't stay in the house and lock yourself in a bedroom. Don't pull a Dwayne Holloway and live in your bedroom because you ain't going to meet nobody from your house. You still got to get out there and do things. Okay, that's where that comes from. You still got to get out there and do things. Just remember this. If you can take it off your mind, find things to do, hobbies, whatever, to help relieve it off your mind, you will relieve the stress from your own self, which will help you and your life. Then when you go out there and you do things, which you still got to get out, when you meet a woman, you ain't got dating on your mind. You're not going to sit there and try to put on this phony persona and pretend somebody you're not. You don't worry about, well, I got to impress her, because this is what you're doing when you worry about trying to get a date. You don't even worry about trying to impress her. You be yourself. Because I'll guarantee you, if you do that, one day you're going to wind up meeting somebody. And you will. You'll wind up meeting somebody. Okay? That's the way it's going to work. And why would I tell you this? Because I'm telling you the truth that you may not want to hear. I don't accidentally have a wife. I've lived TFL in my life. You think I just accidentally catch this name? I just brought it up out of thin air? No, I've lived it. But I also know, because I've lived my life, I have an ex-wife, I have a son who I raised, and I've got a wife now. And I was not worrying about getting a date and looking blah, blah, blah when I got who I'm with. It's not easy. I mean, some of you get suicidal. I've been in that situation myself where I felt like killing myself. I think we've all been there. I think all of us at one time or another have been in this state of mind. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. We live in a society where they've completely divided the genders. Where we have male bashing is the norm today, isn't it? It's what we see in our media. It's what we see in our movies. It's what we see in our commercials. It's what we see in our sitcoms. Male bashing, male bashing, male bashing. Placing women up on a pedestal, and MGTOWers are really good for that. Okay? When you place a female up on a pedestal above your own self, you are actually perpetuating the problem. You are actually making that problem grow. You're not helping yourself or any other man or the woman. You're helping her ego inflate. You're helping the problem to stay alive and healthy. This is what you do when you place a woman on a pedestal. This is why you don't want to place a woman on a pedestal. Yeah, I see that. Yep, I see that. They are relentless, ain't they? They like to keep coming back. And I like to play undo and remove. I hope you got about 5-10 minutes, Tro. You can go open another your next stock account, right? Yeah, some of the whole controllers, they coming over here and they've been attacking me a while because they know that me and Steve are talking. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I just remove them. See, that's the second person. That's the same person as I removed already. They came back in here and started all over again. They were smirking under their breath. Okay, have you got a third channel I can remove? Hey, why don't you go and log in your third and your fourth and your fifth and your sixth channels, and I'll remove them too. That way you can open up some more so I can remove them. Because you're going to spend longer opening that channel up than I am removing it. I'll remove it in a click. You won't open up your next channel in a click. So have fun with that one. And it won't bother me at all. I don't mind. I'll keep clicking. I'll click every channel you make off, and you can just keep wasting your time. It don't bother me. I really don't care one way or the other. Okay, I really don't. I come up here to do a talk, and that's what I'm doing. I wanted to open up a little bit about the corruption in today's society and all the lying that's going on, the deceiving going on, the way people are treating each other. And I'm never going to back off on when I tell people they don't know what they're doing. Because when I tell people they don't know what they're doing in today's society and the dating scene, I'm not lying. It's a fact. Now, am I going to blame people for it? No. Social engineering. It's what they've seen, witnessed, and been taught their whole life. So, of course, they think they're doing right. Hoka wasn't, well, Hoka's working. He has a life. Steve Hoka's on the job. He's working. He was listening to my live stream. This is where he went. You heard him a little bit ago. I know. He called me on my phone. Which was the best thing for him to do because it proved to everybody it wasn't the troll. Because we do have this Steve Hoka wannabe who keeps freaking making Steve's name and running around YouTube with it. And so therefore you can't just say, oh yeah, hi Steve, to somebody that may not be Steve. But when Steve said, I know it's really me, I still have to blow that off. I'm not going to be mean to him or throw him out because if it is Steve, I don't want to throw him out. No. But Steve did the right thing. He called me. So everybody got to hear his voice. It's really him. I respect that. That's awesome. I do the same thing for Steve, man. If he's doing a live stream and somebody's in there claiming they're Steve Hoka, this person's got a lot of gall. They're trying to pretend they're Steve. But the nice thing YouTube's done is Steve types it. Okay? Steve can do this. I'll show you here. When he's in his live streams, I'm going to type hi. Okay, I said hi. See the yellow? You see that yellow? The troll can't do that. That's right. When he types hi, it's just going to be his name, not highlighted in yellow. The troll can't do that. So that's the way you'll know it's the real Steve if you're on Steve's channel and he does a live stream. If he types into his chat, that's how you're going to know it's actually the real Steve. But if I go over to Steve's channel and I type hi to Steve and somebody's mimicking my channel, Steve can't just totally trust that. Well, it may happen tonight. I don't know. Steve mentioned it. I will be up tonight. So there's a chance Steve and I'll be live together tonight. We'll see how that works out. I've been trying to work out a date to set it up to get Warren and Mitchell, myself, and if I could pull it off, I'd even get Steve. All of us together. Whether it's going to be a recording or a live stream, I don't know yet. But I've been working on that. I've been on the phone with Warren. I've talked to Mitchell a couple of times on the phone. So I've been working on that, but it's a matter of trying to get the timing right and the scheduling right. Because Mitchell, like Steve, holds down a full-time job, except for Mitchell's working all night long and sleeping during the daytime. Okay? Warren's holding a job, so, it's trying to get the scheduling right to where people are off so we can actually get together to do it. But as soon as we can get the scheduling right, then we're going to come up here and you're probably going to hear myself, Warren, Mitchell, and possibly Steve himself will all be in one spot at the same time talking. So we are planning on trying to pull this to get this together. It's just taking time because trying to work out the schedules with people and everybody has their own life going, and just like Steve does. So sometimes things take time, but it'll happen. That's just the way it's set. And for off the grid, the only thing I can tell you when it comes to that, I'll have to see about that, but you had to get yourself Zoom. You'll have to put Zoom on your computer there. Okay, it's free. You don't have to get the paid version. I use the paid version. But if you get yourself Zoom, I could bring you into a recording one time. So that's no big deal. I can bring off the grid in. If he gets himself Zoom, I'll bring him in. But he needs to put Zoom on his computer. When you get Zoom on, let me know you got Zoom on, and I'll tell you how you can find me on Zoom, and then you get me added. And I'll bring you in. I got no problem against that. But I'm not going to stay on much longer because I got to go start my vehicle. It's freaking cold as shit outside. Let it run for a little bit, and I got to drive across. Hell, I got to go get my wife from work. So I'm going to cut the live stream off now, guys. Okay, because I've got things to do, get my wife from work and stuff. I possibly may be up with Steve tonight. I don't know. We'll wait and see how it goes. Okay. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here because I do got things to do and I got to go get my wife from work. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here and off the grid. Get yourself Zoom. Then I'll get you the information how to add me, okay? With that being said, I'm out of here, guys.